Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Gaza's biggest hospital is nearly a cemetery, the World Health Organization has warned, as people trapped inside prepare to bury bodies. A spokesman for the Hamas-led health ministry said more than 100 bodies had accumulated at Shifa, creating a sanitary crisis. Israel has accused Hamas of running a command center under Shifa, which the hospital and Hamas deny. Fighting between Israel and Hamas is raging in Gaza City, including at the hospital site. Meanwhile, the IDF say a terror tunnel has been discovered inside a mosque in Gaza. Campaigners in Russia say memorials to victims of the Stalinist repression in Russia are disappearing or being vandalized amid increasing attempts to rehabilitate the Soviet dictator. For the past 9 years, more than 700 plaques have been put up in Russia and elsewhere, commemorating the final resistances of people who died in Stalin's purges. Since May, however, many have disappeared in several Russian cities and police are not investigating the issue. The suggestion among activists is the government doesn't want Russians to know the truth about their tragic past, especially now that Russian soldiers have been accused of war crimes in Ukraine. Residents of an Icelandic town struck by hundreds of earthquakes have briefly been allowed back to their homes to collect their belongings. Cracks and sinkholes have emerged on roads after more than 500 quakes hit the southwestern Reykjanes Peninsula on Monday. A volcanic eruption is still expected, scientists say, despite the quakes being weaker in recent days. Thousands of people have been evacuated from the town of Grindavik, under which most of the tremors have taken place. Firefighters have evacuated stranded residents in Tuscany after rivers burst their banks following torrential overnight rain in the central Italian region. 6 people have been killed and around 190 people have been forced to evacuate their homes, including 150 who live in Campi Bisenzio. The Italian government has declared a state of emergency and allocated an additional €5 million to help the worst-hit areas. Around 48,000 people in the region have no electricity. The former Prime Minister David Cameron has returned to the cabinet table for the first time in more than 7 years on Tuesday after his recall to government. Rishi Sunak met his new cabinet after a dramatic overhaul on Monday saw the former Prime Minister return to frontline politics.
Welcome, especially a warm welcome to those for whom it's their first cabinet, and also welcome to those for whom it may not be their first time. Lovely to have you all here.
Greeting his new set of ministers, Rishi Sunak welcomed those who were new and those who had been around the table before.
Look, of course I've disagreed with some individual decisions, but politics is a team enterprise. I've decided to join this team because I believe Rishi Sunak is a good Prime Minister doing a difficult job at a hard time. I want to support him. I'm a member of the team and I accept the cabinet collective responsibility that comes with that.
Toxic smog has persisted in Indian cities, with morning walkers in the capital New Delhi complaining of breathlessness and similar scenes in the financial hub of Mumbai. Authorities in New Delhi have deployed 70 anti-smog guns and also sprinkled water across the city in an attempt to settle dust. New Delhi was ranked by Swiss group IQ Air as the world's most polluted city. The Indian capital had an air quality index AQI figure of 265, putting it in the very unhealthy category. Air quality in northern India deteriorates every year around winter, when cold air traps pollutants from vehicles, industry construction dust and agricultural waste burning. And King Charles is celebrating his 75th birthday with a business-as-usual style approach and the launch of a project to help people facing food poverty. Ceremonial gun salutes marked the day earlier, including at the Tower of London and Hyde Park. Public service is being emphasised on the King's birthday engagements, although it is expected that there will be a private dinner for close family and friends. The King's birthday plans will also see him hosting a reception for NHS nurses and midwives. Prince Harry will not be there, but sources say he will be putting in a birthday phone call to his father. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.